Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zeng here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked where I climb the online doubles ladder and provide live commentary as I go. Still using the same team we featured for about the last week or so, and I keep saying this, but yeah, I'm gonna definitely switch it up a little bit after I'm done with the exams next Tuesday, and then try out some new teams. There's some pretty cool rental teams that I really want to try out, including one that was able to get #1 on the ladder. That team is really cool, and it features some really cool stuff like Mold Breaker, Excadrill with Assault Vest, and Weakness Policy Togekiss. If you actually want to try that out, team out yourself, I'll link the code in the description below. But yeah, we've been playing with this team for a bit, and after sinking a little bit low on the ladder, we're managing to climb our way back up. So if we could hit top 100 today, that'd be pretty exciting. We're kind of just one game away at this point from there. But yeah, gonna get into this episode. Thanks again to everyone for watching in the last couple of weeks or so. It's been 3 weeks since we started this series up again, and it's awesome that so many people are still enjoying and watching it. So thank you guys, and there will be lots more content coming soon. So first game today. This actually is funny because I'm pre-recording this because I'm actually gone for the weekend. But I just finished the last episode, and that one had a really similar team with the Rotom Tyranitar and the Rotom Tyranitar and Excadrill. So in that last game I went Weezing Rotom. And do I want to go with that this time around? I think Mimikyu is probably just a safer option this time around, especially because my opponent does have the Dragapult. I like Mimikyu Rotom here. Gastrodon's a lot better this time around. Just have to watch out for Rotom. So Gastrodon, and in these matchups it's always tricky because I really could bring all 6 of my Pokemon. Arcanine for Intimidate might be alright. I don't think I'm trying to shut down Excadrill Tyranitar as hard this time around. Duraludon's still really good for offense though, especially if I knock out Excadrill. Let's actually go Duraludon, yeah, because I do have a bunch of Pokemon to make Excadrill's life pretty difficult in Rotom and Gastrodon, and if we can KO that, then Duraludon can just Dynamax and sweep through literally my opponent's entire team. So, I'm gonna go with that. But yeah, as always, if you guys enjoy Road to Ranked, please show your support by leaving a like in the video, and I'd really appreciate it. And with this video, I think it should be going up on Sunday. Question of the day, want to know how you guys' weekends were. I think for question of the days, you know, in the past, I've mainly ask like Pokemon related questions, but I find it as a nice way to really read people's thoughts and just be able to interact with you guys a little bit more. So I think every now and then we'll have some non-Pokemon related questions, although I think the last one was also non-related. So yeah, just want to know how everyone's weekend was as we wrap up this weekend. Alright, let's see. Looks like it's Excadrill and Tyranitar. No, it's Excadrill Dragapult, excuse me. That's not bad. I mean, Rotom puts on so much pressure immediately. Oh, it's actually Mold Breaker. Huh. That's actually bad news. I'm worried about Mold Breaker Scarf. Another cool play my opponent can make. Oh, I was gonna say switch in Tyranitar, but then you won't be faster. Mold Breaker Scarf is the main concern I have. I'm really worried about that. I'd really like to burn it with Rotom. I think I'll just play rough and Will-O-Wisp. If it's actually Scarf Mold Breaker, then props to my opponent, and I'll be in some trouble. Mold Breaker is really good against my team, which is why I think like Mold Breaker plus Togekiss is like a disgusting combination. Mold Breaker Excadrill plus Togekiss is a disgusting combination to play against. We're gonna see Dynamax, alright. Is it Excadrill? Yeah. Okay, well that means we don't have to worry about a Scarf, but Max Steel Spike will still go through us. Wonder if Dragapult is Phantom Forcing here then? Let's see. No, oh my, it's Draco Meteor. I haven't played a special, that might just be specs and knock us out. I think that might just honestly be game. Okay, we end up surviving. We really needed to survive that, I think. It's a Life Orb, alright. Will-O-Wisp does connect, okay. Yeah, if that missed, or if Draco just KO'd us, I think the game honestly would have just been over. Oh, I'm play rough miss. So the reason I play rough instead of Shadow Clawing was because I didn't want to, in case he Dynamaxed the Dragapult. But I think Shadow Claw might have just been a better play. Well, the upside is that Dragapult's at -2 special attacks, so it's actually not really doing much damage against me right now. And what I can actually do is just bring in Gastrodon, Dynamax Gastrodon, and then start Max Quaking against Excadrill. So actually not the worst. But Mimikyu has not been clutch for us these last couple of days, or just this episode and this last one. I could even consider switching out Mimikyu to survive an Max Steel Spike. Man, that's an unfortunate miss, but oh well. Huh. Do I want to go for that? No. I think I'll just Shadow Claw here. Dynamax and Max Quake the Excadrill. Yeah, if that connected turn 1, like, you have to bring in something, I guess, I mean, this potentially could be good if, like, my opponent does have Rotom in the back, where, okay, and Dragon Pulse switches out, so maybe I should have played Rubbed here, as it's actually Arcanine coming in. Okay, so right now there isn't much on my opponent's team to actually knock out the Gastrodon, so if there isn't a Rotom in this game, and I suspect there will be, if there isn't, though, Gastrodon really just wins this by itself, after Dynamaxing. Yeah. So Shadow Claw last turn would have worked out quite nicely, because then you either bring in Arcanine or Rotom. If you bring in Rotom, then Mimikyu puts on a lot of pressure against it immediately. But the thing is, now because Rotom still wasn't on the field, if I get even like another Max Quake off, like Leaf Storm actually isn't even doing that much, especially with Rindo Berry. Intimidate's kind of annoying from the Arcanine, but what can we do about that? So I wonder if Max Steel Spike now will KO us. Let's see. This is Burnt, Excadrill, not Life Orb. Does get the KO, that's really impressive. Alright, so it's 4-2 now, which obviously isn't great. Maybe switching Duraludon there is good, because then we get a special... Nah, it's not like we need the special defense boost, I guess, so that doesn't really end up mattering. Yeah, Molebreaker Excadrill is no fun. And that takes that like a champ. But the main question now is basically, is there Rotom in the back? If not, then I think Gastrodon will literally just win this by itself. Actually, I suppose I still have to worry about weakness policy Tyranitar, because I actually can't attack Tyranitar other than proccing its weakness policy, and it won't be burnt or intimidated. So we're probably not in a great spot right now. I'll just Draco and Max Quake, I think I have to. Yeah, I need to go for the special defense boost in case my opponent's last one is... I mean, we also know it's Dragapult, right? The problem is that, despite how good Gastrodon is, I think I've just lost too much momentum early game here. Yeah. Snarl. Interesting. So Gastrodon avoids it. Max Quake shouldn't knock us out here. Probably a double up into the Duraludon. Yep. Yeah, that doesn't knock us out. So the big question is, what is my opponent's last Pokemon? Can Gastrodon pull this off in 4v1? I guess it would really be more of a 3v1. I'm just not doing great with these 90% accurate moves yesterday and today. What can you do? One of the downsides of this team, it does have a bunch of inaccurate moves, and like they're moves that are so essential to hitting, but I wouldn't be running anything over them anyway, so yeah, that probably will spell out our demise then. But oh well. Molebreaker Excadrill is cool though. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not even sure if Draco was getting the knockout there. I guess I will just target around the Excadrill now and go for Max Quake onto Arcanine. For example, if my opponent has like Grimmsnarl though, we could still win this, which is really funny. But yeah, how would I have played better? Against that lead, I mean, I wasn't expecting Special Dragapult either. The miss obviously was unfortunate. I mean, we missed two big attacks at this point, both which might have just gotten the knockout. But, I mean, like I said, I could have Shadow Clawed there. The reason I play Rough was for extra damage in case of Dynamax, but I'm not sure Play Rough is knocking out a Dynamax Dragapult anyway, so better to just Shadow Claw. As, okay, swaps out. Looks like Dragapult's coming back in. And Burn Up. Oh, that's cool. Does that KO us? Yeah, it does. Alright, it's Gastrodon versus the world now. I'm not feeling super optimistic, but we gotta try our best. The problem is that Arcanine can just snarl me, and I'll probably have Berry here. And we shouldn't get the knockout. Yeah, I just won't do enough damage to everything, so I think this game is effectively lost at this point, despite getting all these boosts off with Gastrodon. I just really needed to hit the attacks, but once again, should have Shadow Claw turn 1, because even if it Dynamaxes... I mean, the reason behind Play Rough is it also catches a Arcanine, or sorry, a Tyranitar switch in. And that might just KO if you're not invested, and even if you are, then the following turn I can KO you. But... it's funny seeing Tyranitar and Excadrill with Molebreaker. You kind of, it's like a bluff, right? And Burn Up is actually really cool there. It allows it to survive. I guess I should conserve my Earth Power PP. I'm not giving up though, because Gastrodon like theoretically could actually pull this off. It's sub Dragapult. Okay, interesting. Snarl does connect. Yeah, the problem here is that I think Arcanine will literally get like 3 or 4 Snarls off, so I just won't be able to do enough damage. So I'll probably just forfeit, honestly. Yeah, I do nothing. They burnt an Arcanine. It's not every day you see a burnt Arcanine. That's funny. And I'm sure it has a berry, yeah. I think I'm not gonna play this one out, honestly, because with enough snarls, like, this game would just go on for forever, and it's 4v1 at this point. So, yeah, cool Dragapult set. Life Orb, sub Draco. It's interesting. I think if we connected with our attacks this game, it would have definitely been really different, but I also played, once again, like, the risk on, the miss on Dragapult was super risky. I mean, I could have just gone for safe Shadow Claw there, and I think risk versus reward-wise, it's probably not worth it to go for it. I don't know, I thought Dragapult was in a really good position to potentially Dynamax, though, so I don't know if I entirely regret that. I guess the one thing I should know is the calc against Dragapult with Mimikyu, so I'll do that after the game, because I am curious about that, but, yeah. I don't feel too bad. I feel like a lot of the losses we've had recently are ones that definitely could have been better played on my end. Plus, we got a little bit unlucky as well. So it's like the combination of those means that there's a lot of places where things could have improved, which is good for you when you're reviewing. Another Sand team today, but there's also Gothitelle, Conkeldurr, Hydreigon, and Gastrodon. It's kind of a gnarly team. Pretty scared to go up against it. My opponent locks in instantly, too. I think I'll still lead Mimikyu. Has a really good offensive matchup against a lot of things. Maybe I don't bring Rotom this time around. Mimikyu. Arcanine for early Intimidate doesn't seem that bad here. Gastrodon and I think Duraludon's still probably good. Yeah, Weezing's not bad here though. Does get kind of wrecked by Gastrodon though. Not the biggest fan of Rotom. Alright, let's go with these. Definitely tricky. I think, like, T-Tar X is always tricky, especially because now, as we just saw in that last game, people are bluffing with Mold Breaker Excadrill, which is pretty cool. So, let's see if we can play a little bit better this game. Yeah, hitting like, the Life Orb player off and Specs Draco, like, it can be such big game changers. And it is just Tyranitar Excadrill. I always get a little frustrated when opponents lead that into this team, because it's like, I have Weezing, plus Rotom. So now the question is it Mold Breaker Excadrill? Nope. Okay. So in these positions, a lot of times, I mean, Excadrill likes to just Dynamax immediately. So what I can do is honestly Will-O-Wisp it and Hard Swap Arcanine out into Gastrodon, I think. That doesn't seem to be too bad, yo. Yeah, conserve the Intimidate for later on. With Gastrodon, especially if my opponent commits a Dynamax early, I can Dynamax Gastrodon next turn, get some special defense boost. And it is a Dynamax coming out from my opponent, which is good to see. I guess the problem here is if it doubles up into the Mimikyu, I'm not sure if an Iron Head plus like a Max Darkness or Rockfall knocks out Mimikyu. And it is actually Tyranitar Dynamaxing. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, if we don't get doubled up into, it'll be okay. Let's do Excadrill targets. Just opting for Rock Slide. That's always annoying. So it doesn't do any damage, but we can flinch now and miss Will-O-Wisp, neither of which are great for us. And the odds are now higher for either of those to happen. I mean, Will-O-Wisp odds don't change. Will-O-Wisp does connect though. Okay, nice. And I'm targeting the Excadrill mainly because that is the biggest threat to my Duraludon. So that's not bad. It's going to be Rockfall. Let's see what slot it's targeting here. Into Gastro. Okay, that's actually perfect. Because now we should survive an Iron Head from the Excadrill, so what we can do is just Will-O-Wisp the Tyranitar, Dynamax, and go for Max Quake into Excadrill. Yeah, I like that play. We should survive an Iron Head. It's not Life Orb Excadrill. Probably Sashed. We could have also recovered here with Gastrodon, I guess, but I don't mind going for quick special defense boost, given what my opponent potentially has in the back. The Hydreigon is especially concerning. Alright, let's see. If we can get the burn on Tyranitar, we'll be in a really good spot. Even if not, it's not terrible, because, like, let's say we miss, or we get flinched or whatever. I'll just bring in Arcanine. I think Gastro probably still just knocks out the Excadrill here, and then Arcanine can just come in and go for a Will-O-Wisp onto Tyranitar. Just clicking Rock Slide, though, so going for a flinch, that does no damage. Will-O-Wisp. Oh, okay. Mimikyu wants to redeem itself in this one. Not getting flinched or missing his Will-O-Wisp. Very nice. And just Max Darkness. That's totally fine. Onto Mimikyu. Yeah, we survived these so easily now. Once again, this is just showing how good Will-O-Wisp can be as an attack. Especially against these sand teams. So the special defense drop is annoying, but we'll just redeem it back here with Max Quake. And I'll have one extra turn of Dynamax over my opponent, which is good. So, yep, that gets the KO. And now Tyranitar is basically doing nothing. If we basically just want to attack around the Tyranitar, not activate its weakness policy. And as soon as Dynamax is over, we'll be in close combat KO range from the Arcanine in the back. I think Extreme Speed might be a better move overall in the Arcanine, though. I might change that, because we haven't really been in too many positions where we've really needed to close combat an Excadrill, or sorry, Tyranitar. Especially because with this team, we already have pretty good answers against T-Tar Excadrill. Looks like Hydreigon's coming in. Okay. Well, presumably... Oh, this is actually interesting. You really need to target down the Mimikyu here. Yeah, I guess I sacked the Mimikyu. Play rough. Thing is, I actually don't want to activate Tyranitar's weakness policy here. So... the special defense boost could make it worth it, though. Let's see. Yeah, I think I have to sack Mimikyu. I don't want either Pokemon in the back to be taking any damage. I think maybe Max Quaking is actually fine here, because we get the special defense boost, then we bring in Arcanine, and then we can just close combat the Tyranitar slot next turn. Yeah, there's just Dark Pulse coming out. Okay. Hydreigon is really annoying for this team to deal with, though. I'm not a fan of going up against that. Yeah, and I guess because he opted for Max Darkness, the special defense boost here might actually really help out. It's just like we will activate weakness policy. And the other question is what item the Hydreigon has. I'm worried about it Dracoing to KO whatever I switch in here. Okay. So if there's no weakness policy on Tyranitar, I'd be shocked. So we're at neutral special defense still. And it's not weakness policy. Oh, that's actually really good then. Okay, nice. Who do I want to bring in? I think Arcanine is probably the better bet here. Tyranitar is absolutely useless now for my opponent's end. It shouldn't knock us out with the Dragon Pulse. It's funny because I was talking about how viable close combat was, and it actually could really help us out here. Okay, so we're at neutral special defense still with Gastrodon. Yeah, I kind of want to just close combat and Max Geyser. I think that should knock out the Hydreigon. And if it doesn't have Draco, I think we survive. It's just Dark Pulsing. Might be Specs Dark Pulse. No flinch, please. Although that actually should proc our berry. Does it? Okay, good. Well, that's frustrating. That would have been game there, most likely, if we don't flinch from Dark Pulse. But it's still not over. Yeah, I think that should be in close combat KO range at this point. I mean, Tyranitar is useless at this point, so we just, once again, like I said, target around it. Maybe Max Quake is worth it there for the special defense. I mean, if we don't flinch there, though, Hydreigon just gets KO'd, so I don't regret that, really. I think this next turn, I'll close combat and recover. Yeah, that first did just under half, the first Dark Pulse. So, I mean, it might go for a Dragon Pulse or Draco now. I actually forget which one has higher base power between Dragon Pulse and Dark Pulse. But Tyranitar is at -2 attack and its burn, so that's doing literally nothing. And it doesn't even have weakness policy, which makes me really curious on what item it has. Maybe a Soul Vest? Wow, Hydreigon actually switches out into Gastrodon. Okay. Interesting. It's just rock sliding, okay. Yeah, that's really annoying. Without that flinch, this game is over for sure. Now, the question is, does my opponent's Gastrodon have recover? That's actually a really big question. It's lefties, so I'm thinking maybe not. The problem is now I can't really target the Hydreigon. Man, that flinch sucked. There wasn't a way around that. I could protect Arcanine this turn. My opponent's in an awkward spot, though, where it's like, do you naturally switch out Tyranitar? Because you don't really want to do that. I'll protect and Earth Power the Gastrodon this turn. I want to target around the Tyranitar because it's not really doing anything. And Gastro might be able to win 1v1 against Hydreigon. The big question is there recover? A lot of Gastrodons opt not to run a recover, so if there isn't, then I'll win the 1v1 against my opponent's Gastrodon. But I get flinched. And it has recover. Okay. Yeah, I think if we didn't get flinched by the Dark Pulse, this game would have been over because we get the knockout, and then I could just double up onto Gastro with, like... Okay, we'll close combat now. And just Earth Power. The fact it has recovered, though... Okay, and he's protecting, too. Yeah. That's probably game. Actually, that definitely is game. I should have just maybe close combated last turn. Yeah, this game was kind of frustrating. No special defense drop. Actually, no, maybe it's not over. What am I saying? Here I am giving up, and now I can just bring out Duraludon and just Specs Draco my opponent's Gastro, which should KO based off how much Earth Power did. Yeah. I think I have to commit to Specs Draco, though. I'm not going to knock out my opponent's Gastrodon otherwise. But I am worried about... Actually, does Tyranitar faint this turn? Because I actually don't want to knock out Tyranitar. But my opponent could easily just protect Gastro and switch Tyranitar out, I guess. There's no point in trying to predict that. Yeah, I'm actually thinking of not Earth Powering Tyranitar if it stays in this turn, because my opponent might protect Gastro and just sack Tyranitar here to get a free switch in. And I don't want to give it a free switch in. Yeah, I'm actually gonna recover this turn. See if it switches out. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well then maybe if we just Earth Power we would have won, but I think I needed to cover that option. Okay, so we've knocked out Gastro now. Now the question is, what moveset is the Hydreigon running? If it's Draco, then Gastro should actually win the 1v1 there. And Low Kick does no damage. Okay. This is a really crazy game. A fun one, that for sure. But yeah, you imagine we just got the close combat off earlier, this game would have been over. But we have to play around that, obviously. Okay. So Tyranitar has Low Kick, Crunch, Rock Slide. Don't remember if we've seen Protect yet, but it's basically a non-factor. So now Hydreigon comes in, and now the question is, are you running Dragon Pulse or do you have Draco Meteor? And does Dragon Pulse knock out Duraludon? I'm going to double up onto it, because if I get a Skull Burn onto Hydreigon, that also just might be game. He's just Dark Pulsing. We should survive that. Please no flinch or miss. Draco connects. Oh, wow. Did we pull it back? Yeah, that should be game. Whew. That one was crazy. Yeah, nice. And just the Rock Slide. Cool. So we basically made Tyranitar absolutely useless this game. I thought Excadrill was more likely to Dynamax, honestly. Kind of surprised they didn't. And no weakness policy on Tyranitar is really interesting as well. Yeah, without a weakness policy, it literally just doesn't do any damage after we get the Intimidates. So you guys have seen me play with this team a bunch, but kind of one of the ways we go about it is basically inflicting burn on a physical type attacker and then Gastrodon just being able to sit in and stay around for forever. So yeah, these videos always are just I always aim to end it for 2 games if it's just under 30 minutes, but we're at 24 minutes and normally ends up getting dragged on to 36 or 37, but it seems like people are enjoying the game, so why not? Let's play more. Alright. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really to say about that game. Yeah, Hydreigon is really scary to go up against, but no Draco Meteor is interesting. I think if you have Draco, it's probably the correct play to lock yourself into and try to knock out Duraludon. But actually, maybe Dark Pulse is actually better. You just go for a flinch, because if you get the flinch, you might win too. But hard to say for sure. Alright, third game. Umbreon. Oh, interesting. Speedy team, and there's a Silvally as well, which is cool to see. This is definitely a Mimikyu game. It's also, once again, a game where if we knock out the the Whimsicott, Gastrodon wins this game. I kind of want to lead Duraludon, but the problem is that my opponent also leads Duraludon. So then the counterplay to that would be Rotom, Mimikyu, Volt Switch, play rough to knock out Whimsicott turn 1, and then Gastrodon just comes in and maybe sweeps. That actually doesn't seem like a bad strategy. I don't think Arcanine's that great here. It's only great for intimidating Dracovish. So yeah, I'll go with these 4. And if my opponent for some reason doesn't lead Whimsicott, Duraludon, that's even better for us. Umbreon's an interesting pick though. I'm gonna have to watch out about that actually. Because it can Snarl, can Foul Play. If you guys watched the World Finals from this last year, Umbreon made it into there. Cool, definitely a cool team, especially with Silvally as well. That's not something I've really run into, but I think definitely has potential in this format. Alright, let's see what's coming out. I like my opponent's name. And the trainer icon. I need to change mine. Someone mentioned that in, I think, like 2 episodes ago, and I totally meant to, but it just, like, slipped my mind. I like the outfit, too. I love how, like, you can customize, like, Pokemon again now. It makes it so much more fun. It's Duraludon and Silvally. Oh, man, that's interesting. Okay. Huh. What do I want to do here? This is like a really awkward position to be in. I want to set up Trick Room, honestly, I think, so then Gastrodon can just come out and start max quaking. But the question is, do I Volt Switch here? Because Rotom might just eat up a Draco Meteor. Actually, I might get doubled up on Mimikyu, right? Silvally should be faster than Duraludon. I'm actually going to double check that because I don't remember that off the top of my head. I think it might be depending on how it's trained. Oh no, Silvally's 95, so it should outspeed us, yeah. So I'm worried about a double up onto Mimikyu right now. It's actually a pretty concerning possibility. I suppose if it does double up, though, I do get a free switch into Gastrodon. So why don't I actually try to knock out Silvally here with the Play Rough and Hydro Pump? Yeah, if we get that KO, like, we'll be faster with both Pokemon here, then it's actually not bad. These attacks are kind of inaccurate, which makes me scared, and Silvally is probably going to be pretty bulky, so I'm not sure this gets that should get the KO. But Mimikyu never fails to disappoint. Man. How many play roughs have we missed with Mimikyu? I feel like 1 in at least every episode in the last 3 episodes. Oh well, what can you do? And there'll probably be a Flash Cannon into Mimikyu. Yeah. So frustrating. Because we don't miss that, that's Silvally's toast. And you don't break my Disguise either, so then you use Flash Cannon and Mimikyu, and then I trade Disguise, basically, for Silvally, which is an excellent trade. So definitely a frustrating way to start off, but still not over by any means. Let's just bring out Gastro here. One kind of cool play is I can actually just Storm Drain myself. That honestly might be worth going for. What's my other play? Switch out. I think I kind of need to knock out Duraludon in order to bring out my Duraludon. So yeah, I'm actually going to Hydro Pump to give myself the boost. And Max Quake Duraludon. That could switch out into Rotom. But nope, it's actually Dynamaxing. Okay, I don't mind that. Yeah, just frustrating because if that turn 1 goes our way, I mean, I also like really can't complain because I am. Oh, Silvally's Dynamaxing. Interesting. I was gonna say I can't really complain because I am using relatively inaccurate moves in base 80 and base 95, or sorry, base 90. It still just hurts, but at the end of the day, yeah, it's my choice for using more inaccurate moves. Mimikyu has some games where it's so clutch and it's able to just hit every attack, and then other games where it just doesn't want, like, it'll start the game off with a miss. Okay, now I'm really wondering what Silvally is running. Does it have a grass type attack? Is it just gonna mess up my Gastrodon here? It totally might. Alright, first of all, I'll give myself the boost. So now it's +1 Gastrodon, so I'm actually doing some pretty good damage. And it does have max overgrowth. Oh my goodness. Okay. How much does that do? A lot. I'm assuming Duraludon's gonna target my Gastrodon slot as well. Yep, with the Draco, okay. Let's see if Max Quick knocks. I mean, it definitely will knock out Duraludon here. So I have +1 special attack and special defense, but I fear that it might be too late. It's kind of funny, yeah. Silvally ended up being even a bigger threat than I anticipated it being with max overgrowth. But I think that was still my best play turn 1 because I think he's always gonna double up onto my Mimikyu there because you have to be worried about Trick Room. So, and I can't Shadow Claw. Silvally. Whimsicott coming out is also bad news for us. Like, we just don't do any damage right now. I mean, here we have to protect Gastrodon, I think, and just switch out into Duraludon. Duraludon theoretically could win this if I Dynamax that, but yeah. My opponent having lots of grass type attacks outside of just Whimsicott wasn't great here for us, and obviously Play Rough Miss to start wasn't great either. That's alright. We can still win this, I think. Let's see. If we bring out Duraludon, if Whimsicott has Moonblast, I think we're probably toast. And it should have Moonblast. Every Whimsicott, like, in this format should have Moonblast. But I don't really have a better play here, I think. I'd have to hope for my opponent to get, like, greedy and target Gastrodon for some reason. Oh, that's a start. Max Airstream. Actually does good damage, too, jeez. What do I do here? I mean, Energy Ball probably just knocks out Rotom now that grassy terrain is up, right? This kind of sucks. Who would have thought Silvally would have caused me so many problems? We just hit that play rough, dude. What if we get a double Max Guard and Draco to knock out Silvally? The problem is that, like, then I'm locked into Draco, which means I can't touch Whimsicott. Max Guard! No, you don't get it. Okay, that's game then. Wow, this Silvally really gave me problems, yeah. I mean, and it's actually Moonblasting the Duraludon. And Max Flare? Whoa. That was cool. That's a really interesting Silvally set. Like, I didn't even know it gets access to all these typed attacks. I mean, that makes sense, but Max Flare, Max Overgrowth. Yeah, really interesting. Airstream as well. Yeah. Not much I can say about this game. I mean, Hydro Pump is what, 80 accuracy and Play Res is 90, so we have like a 72% chance of starting the game off in a really good position. Otherwise, I just needed to lead better. Like, I mean, I didn't really bring anything to stop Silvally from the get-go. Silvally Duraludon was actually a really big problem. I don't really have a great answer to that other than I can't even lead Gastro. Weezing's not the answer either, so I actually feel like I probably had the best lead combo against it as well. I could bring my Duraludon and then maybe Dynamax it, but I'm at risk of getting Snarled, which is obviously not good. There is pretty much nothing I can do at this point, yeah. Let's see, what can I do? I would have to get a Paralysis. Actually, no, I mean, Whimsicott just outspeeds Rotom now, so you just Energy Ball Rotom and Power Whip or whatever type attack you're running on Silvally onto Gastrodon. Energy Ball actually went into... It doesn't really end up... Oh, okay. It's Grass Pledge, too. Oh, that's cool. And that does not knock us out, but we are almost KO'd. And T-Ball, I'm sure, will not get the KO here. Yeah, no para either. So, good game. Really fun team. That's the coolest use of Silvally I've seen. I mean, this is the first time I even went up against it, but that was definitely a really interesting use of it as well. Yeah, once again, it's one of those losses where it's like, okay, if we actually just hit the attacks we need to, then I don't feel bad about how I played per se, but I don't know. What would I have done differently? There honestly isn't even much. Like, maybe leading Duraludon. But once again, I don't like that too much because against opposing Duraludons, because I have no speed investment, they're going to outspeed me, and a Draco would just knock me out if they're running it. And, you know, it's not crazy for them to be running Draco Meteor. Mimikyu plus something else? Mimikyu Arcanine, I guess? I mean, Arcanine's speed ties with Silvally, but it is faster than everything else. That's the only other lead I can really think of. Yeah, I think if that Play Rough connects, we're actually just in a really good spot because we knock out Silvally, and then we can bring in the following turn we can do a lot of different things. We can Hydro Pump and just double up into whatever's switching in. If it's Whimsicott, for example, we can just double up to knock that out, and then Gastrodon should just win the game. We didn't even find out what my opponent's last one was, but yeah, that's the risk of running more inaccurate moves, and we've kind of faced the repercussions, I feel like, in the last episodes or so, but at the end of the day, that's just, you know, Pokemon, and you have to go back to the drawing board and see if you can improve your team to either not be running inaccurate attacks or be in positions where you don't have to use inaccurate attacks, like that game that I had against the Dragapult where I clicked Play Rough instead of Shadow Clawing from the first turn. So there's always ways to optimize your play, but sometimes, you know, a miss is a miss, and it will just maybe make you lose a game. And in that case, that felt like a game where I didn't really have that many better options, so I'm okay with what I went for, but I can't feel bad. I can't complain about missing one of Hydro Pump and Play Rough, because both of those aren't exactly highest accuracy attacks. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Thank you as always for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Don't forget to answer the question of the day, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, peace.